Hello, fabulous entrepreneur. It's Tash Corbin here, and welcome to another episode of the Heart Centered Business Podcast. This is episode number 190, which means that you can find all the details, show notes, and links that I refer to over at tashcorbin.com/190. Now, today we're talking about business growth, and it doesn't matter where you are in your business journey. What we want to do is look at what is important for you to be focusing on, dependent on what stage of business that you're at. So if you are in the early stages of business, if you're in epic growth mode, but you want to make sure that you've got everything sorted so that you can create that great growth moving forward, this is the episode for you. Let's get started. I'm Tash Corbin, and this is the Heart Centered Business Podcast. Okay, so there's no one-size-fits-all pathway to success and growth in a business. And particularly in the online business world, there are so many different ways that you can create business growth and a path to market for your products and services. But if you are starting in the online service-based business space, i.e. you're selling your services either as a coach or a mentor, teacher, trainer, service provider, or anything in those spaces, then what I see in the online world is a pattern of these 4 core phases of business or stages of business. So what I'm going to do in this podcast episode is I'm going to explain what each stage looks like, and also some ideas around what it is you need to be nailing in order to be able to leap into the next stage of business. Now, this isn't a one-size-fits-all model. This is just a rough guide and some indications of things to look out for. And this can be very helpful, particularly if you've had an unconventional pathway to success. A lot of people who come into my takeoff program have actually had a lot of success in the offline world, but they're really struggling to scale it in the online world. Or some people have started by having some amazing opportunity happen for them, but they need to go back and really make sure their foundations are taken care of because they've had an unusual path to market. So even if you've got a bunch of things at the top few stages nailed, but your foundations are still wobbly and you don't quite have those things sorted, this could be very helpful for you to identify where you need to focus your energy and attention. Okay, so the 4 stages of business that I'm referring to are number 1, direct selling. Now that is where the line of sight between someone finding out about you and someone buying from you is very short, and you usually make sales through conversations one-to-one, whether that be on Facebook Messenger, whether that be on a Zoom call, whether that be at a barbecue, or whether that be people finding your Facebook page. But in this direct selling phase of business, you're getting clear on your niche and your messaging. You're starting to establish your marketing foundations, building a following, and you're selling through one-to-one conversations. So in this stage of business, most people are selling one-to-one and delivering one-to-one. So in that direct selling phase of business then, the thing that we're trying to nail is knowing who your ideal clients are, how to find them online, and how to convert them into paying clients through one-to-one conversations. So if you're able to do that, you know that you've got that nailed, then chances are you're ready for the next stage of business. Sexy, right? So the next stage of business is called scale and systemize. And this is where you're starting to get your list and your audience growing on autopilot. You're making sales one-to-many, but you're still delivering one-to-one. That's where you're making sales via things like emails and freebies, and maybe your promotions and posts on Facebook get sales without you having to have a one-on-one conversation. In this stage of business, you're also looking at getting things nailed, such as consistency, outsourcing things that aren't in your zone of genius, and selling through, as I said, those emails, freebies, or one-to-many pathways. Now, when you have nailed the scale and systemize phase of business, this is when your business grows consistently without you needing to increase your workload. That is the definition of scale. So when you're you've nailed that, how to know you've nailed that stage of business is that you know you can grow your business results and your income without significantly increasing your workload. So that's usually the big indicator that Scale and Systemize is taken care of. You can, for example, set yourself up with your content plan for the quarter, running your 3 webinars over the next 3 months, you doing your business as usual activities, and by rolling those things out, you will consistently grow your audience and consistently grow your income. So that's usually what we're looking for from Scale and Systemize. Once you've got that sorted, then we move into leverage and launch. And in leverage and launch, you're not just selling one-to-many, but you're also delivering one-to-many. So that is the difference between Scale and Systemize, where you're selling one-to-many but still delivering one-to-one, and leverage and launch, you're selling one-to-many and you're delivering one-to-many as well. So in leverage and launch, you'd be offering one-to-many services or products such as online courses or a membership or a mastermind or retreats or a large in-person event. So you're offering services and helping people achieve outcomes through one-to-many delivery. You usually will be selling these through consistent launches. So when you first release an online course or program, it's not a matter of just setting up an automated funnel and saying, okay, that's there and it's there forever and waiting for the drip feed of customers to come in. In most cases, the smart way to get an online course or program or a one-to-many product out there is to launch it so that you can see what lead magnets you're using, what works, what messaging works, how much you're converting, and really test your marketing in terms of advertising, those sorts of things as well. So generally you're selling through consistent launches. This is the tipping point of where you can actually serve more people by focusing more on your one-to-many than you can by focusing on your one-to-one. And so you end up starting to have more customers in one-to-many than customers you have in one-to-one. So for example, one of the VIP clients I'm working with at the moment, she's just hit that tipping point. She has 25 people in her membership, and now she's down to about 12 one-on-one VIP clients consistently. So she's seen this tipping point in the balance. This is also the stage where you need to get very good at converting colder audiences and converting them in a shorter period of time so that you know when you put money into a launch, you're going to get sales and conversions during that launch. So the way to know if you're nailing that stage of business is that you can serve one-to-many and scale your income by increasing your advertising spend, not by increasing your workload. So that's going to be a really interesting one if you are in the space of deciding that you want to do a launch or you want to start moving into leverage and launch. That's a really good indicator to keep front of mind to think about. Most people, when they do their first launch of an online course or program, don't necessarily have a significant ad spend. They might play around with some ad spend on getting people to their lead magnet, they might play around with some conversion ad spend. But to really nail the leverage and launch stage of business, you need to know, for example, $2,000 of Facebook ads in, $20,000 of course sales out, or something along those lines. So that's a really good way to know that you're nailing it. Once you've got that happening, then usually you would move into the process orientation phase of business. Now that phase of business is where you have sales on autopilot without needing a launch. So your funnels and your automated ad-driven top-level content brings in large-scale audiences and converts them via automated processes. Now, usually by the time you're at this stage of business, you are in your zone of genius. The thing that you do most is turn up and be present with your audience and be the talent, be the face of your business, be the spokesperson for your business, be the content creator in your business. And all of the other activities in your business, such as scheduling, admin, marketing, all of those sorts of things are done by someone else, and you are simply turning up and doing the content part of the marketing piece. You are turning up and doing the delivery part of the courses, not helping people reset their passwords, as a very basic example. So in this phase of business, you are mostly in your zone of genius, and what we are doing is scaling and refining your business processes. So in this stage of business, you would look at something like an automated funnel. And let's say when you first create that sales funnel, I've got an evergreen funnel for the takeoff program, for example, you get some information in the first few weeks or months about how well that's converting. Now, my takeoff funnel currently is converting at a rate of $800 in equals $3,400 out. However, I want to make sure that that funnel is converting at $800 in to $8,000 out before I significantly increase my ad spend. So right now I'm in refinement mode of that funnel to refine and see which emails are getting opened in the process, where do people fall off from the process, are we retargeting people effectively with our ads in the process, so that we can maximize the return on investment, not only for the time and energy we put in, but also for the money that we put into advertising spend. So once you've got to the point where you can see those numbers and make those tweaks and see those changes and have them result in larger sales, larger return on investment, then you're really rocking that process orientation stage of business. Okay, so I know I've thrown a lot of information to you in the last 10 minutes, but I think this is a really important conversation for us to have, because a lot of people are looking to build automated sales funnels and they haven't actually nailed the scale and systemized part of their business. So some of the core foundational steps that you need to have in place to know that when you put ad money in, it spits clients out, you haven't got that all sorted yet. So hopefully this has worked as a bit of a checklist for you to be able to see which parts of the business processes you have nailed and which ones you may need to go back and do some work on to prove your business model, your proof of concept, and your value proposition that enough people will be able to pay you and see the value in what you're doing in order for this to be a scalable business. I would love to know if you have any ahas or questions from this episode. So make sure you come over to the Heart-Centered Soul-Driven Entrepreneurs Facebook group. Use the hashtag #PodcastAha. Let us know that you've been listening to episode number 190. Share your thoughts, share your questions, and I will keep an eye out for anything that comes up so we can continue the conversation there. Until next time, beautiful entrepreneur, I cannot wait to see you shine, and I will see you on the next episode of the Heart-Centered Business Podcast. Bye for now. Would you like more tips, tools, and resources to help you grow your heart-centered business? Head to tashcorbin.com today.